Now, is that any better? I can't hear myself. Can you hear me now? Put that plug in, man. Yes. I don't know. I can't hear. Let's have a look. Why is it not doing that? Audio. Now. Oh, right, now. I'm back now, am I? Right. For some reason, it switched to my... That'll do it. Jolly good. Okay, well, welcome. I was basically saying welcome. Welcome, everybody. Peppo, Adolabate, Cool Grey, Robert, Bob, and possibly Kimberly. Kimberly could be eating, though. Hello. Yes, I'm back from my hiatus. It's a nasty thing, a hiatus, you know. You have to have wine to get rid of your hiatus. Do that. Yeah, that's probably if I put the microphone towards your face, Simon, that will help. Right, just excuse me, I need to lubricate my tubes. Yes, it's a case of Fukki. Is everybody ready for some Fukki? I'm returning to the state that I was in before I left. Oh, there's nothing like a bottle of cheap Australian wine to get you going. Yes, basically, quick explanation why there was no live stream last week. Possibly most of you all know because if you've been on Discord or, you know, seen the description on the advert. I was away in England visiting Kimberly and also my parents briefly. And there will be, I have permission from Kimberly to show photographs of the visit that we had. And it was a remarkable visit in the sense that it was uncharacteristically sunny and warm for the time that I was there. The time before I went there, it was characteristically grey, rainy and miserable. And after I left, it is now grey, rainy and miserable. So, I mean, I was a ray of sunshine. But anyway, how are you all? Yes, I did debate whether to go somewhere. I spent, I do my research and things, and I was looking up events, things to do in Belgium on the weekend, and not a lot, unless you're a small child or you're in need of some instruction or something. Events that would be YouTube worthy are not on the list of things that you can look up. I brought the Belgian sun to the UK. No, I don't know. It just followed me. It just appeared and said, shone down on me. And also it shone down on the whole caboodle. Really, things went very smoothly. It was uncanny. There were only two slight delays on the motorway, which resolved themselves quite quickly. That was amazing as well. And getting to England, no problem at all. I did borrow my eldest son's car, which was good because that was fairly reliable and clean, which was essential for when driving with Kimberly. Nice to have a clean car to accompany me with. Now, I did have a background video. I may go back to it if I've still got it somewhere, or it could have gone. A background video. I think Cool Grey or Peppo put it on Discord. I think Peppo, you put it on Discord, didn't you? Or you showed me no, you sent me it on Messenger. That Japanese thing from 1968. I found it on YouTube, and I was going to put that in the background without any noise on. Are you tired? All right. But we'll see, because I've got because when I went to visit Kimberly, we went to Wales, and one of the places we went was a place called Portmeirion, which doesn't mean a lot to many people, but those in the know that it was the location for the cult 60s TV series The Prisoner, and I have a little video about The Prisoner for those of you who are not familiar with that. But that was rather good. I have also bitten the bullet. I was looking for the English version of a particular Japanese book by a particular Japanese author who I've read about and who I follow on Instagram, but have had yet to sort of peruse her novels. And after having read Natsuo Kirino and Banana Yoshimoto and Sayaka Murata, I was kind of like, hesitant, shall I say, to go for another Japanese author, lady author, for fear of having to sort of recuperate after reading, because if anybody else, I think Alas may have had it on audiobook, had read Sayaka Murata's Earthlings. Yes, you need to kind of, psychologically rest after reading that, and your viewpoint of Japanese culture and society and women, are kind of you can't walk down the street in Japan without wondering what's going on inside people's heads and lives after reading those books. So I was kind of hesitant to get this book, but of what I've read about it, it's about the lives of 3 women in Tokyo, 2 sisters and one of their daughters, and it's called Breasts and Eggs. And it's by Mieko Kawakami. Those of you who follow me on Instagram will have seen me sort of showing off that I'd finally got it and tagging Mieko Kawakami to let her know, because sometimes on her Instagram, anybody who's read the book or has got excited about it and posted it on their Instagram, she kind of like reposts that. But unfortunately, I just read on Instagram that her father passed away, so probably she isn't really sort of looking at Instagram and that kind of thing. So we'll see. Am I a number? Yes, I'm number 1. That's why there was no internet in Port Merion during Kimberly and I's visit. There was no internet and no people. I had internet removed and the people removed. Well, the people were removed largely because they'd all gone home, because Kimberly and I got there half an hour after my tickets ran out. Specially bought tickets, said that I would be there between 2 and 5 p.m. And then you could go around the village and spend even more money in the gift shops and the tea rooms, which were all shut. We all saw the staff leaving when we arrived, which was good because I didn't spend any more money than I needed to, and there was nobody there except us and a few staff members and people who were staying at the hotel. So that was good. I mean, you'll see later when I show the pictures. But yes, hang on. I'll get the book for those who haven't seen it. I've started reading it. This is quite a thick book, as you can see. How many pages? Not quite 500. Not quite 500 pages. So that's some light reading after I go to bed. After I finish playing a video game, I'll go to bed. And instead of scrolling through YouTube, I'll read Breasts and Eggs in Dutch. Since they didn't have the English. They have it English on ebook, but I'm trying to sort of avoid looking at a screen at night. Has anybody actually read any Mieko Kawakami? Could they tell me? If so, am I in for a treat? I think I am. Do most people remember The Prisoner? It depends. Like old farts like us may remember it, because I watched it first when it was rerun for the first time in the 1980s, early 1980s. I would run home from the pub, as you do when you're a teenager, when it was on the day it was on, and to watch it religiously, because we didn't have a videoed tape recorder at that particular time. I don't think. No, I didn't. And so my friend and I at school were really into it. And Robert, yes, yeah, like you said, old farts. It was quite bizarre, and not your typical. It was very sort of typically 60s, but not a typical 60s. You know, it confused a lot of people and upset a lot of people as well, especially the final episode, because it resolved nothing. It was all very sort of weird and philosophical. You watch it when it first aired, blimey. Yes, UFO Bobby's the oldest fart in the audience. I'd have had a job watching it when it first aired. You know, what would a 1-year-old understand about The Prisoner? I'm not even sure that, you know, it would have been in black and white, because I think the first time we got a colour television was somewhere in the mid 70s. I think, yeah, maybe. I can remember my grandma's television. When you switched it on, you had to wait for it to warm up. They've gone past the smelling stage. It's like all the bacteria have gone home. There's nothing left for us here. Let's go. Ah, yes. And now, of course, you can just watch it on YouTube. I think you can watch it. So, if you're intrigued or interested, I've even got the book. I bought the book, and it's derived. Well, it was a follow-up, a kind of a follow-up to a popular series that the actor was in, a sort of spy series. And I've got books from that as well, because I'm a nerd when it comes to that, or I was when it came to that sort of thing. Is I don't think I will be doing a reading one again, because it's a bit long. What I have to do is maybe do what I did with the other authors, and see if they've got any kind of short stories that I can grab off the internet if I'm feeling in a reading mood. If reading mood comes on when I can't think of anything else to do. Yes. So, what I shall do, I shall just get rid of the music for a moment, or pause it. It's very nice, very relaxing. And I shall go and add to the stage. It says add to stage. Okay. So, now what I'll do, I'll do that later. What I shall do now, I shall transfer you by the magic of internet, and immediately, the immediate picture. Well, I didn't put all pictures in from my trip to England, because I drove up on a Friday, and I drove to where Kimberly lives, and then stayed at a very nice Airbnb, my first ever Airbnb experience, and it was jolly nice, and I shall be going again. And the host was quite pleased with his guest as well. So he'll be accepting of me going again. But anyway, I sort of freshened up there, and then met up with Kimberly in a steak restaurant that has recently opened in her town that is apparently very good and was very good. So we met up there, and that's the first picture you'll see. There we go. As you can see, that's my steak down there at the bottom with a huge pile of fries, and Kimberly is looking longingly at some lamb. And those are our cocktails. They look like glasses of wine, but actually they're cocktails. Can't quite remember what. I think mine's a Negroni or something like that. But it was rather good. The cocktail bar music. Well, I could put the cocktail bar music back on. Hang on. Yes, sorry. I thought I was going to play the prisoner thing. I'll just put the music back on. There we go. Cocktail bar music to go with our meal. And we did, after that, after the meal, we went to a couple of cocktail bars in her town that we've been to before and just consumed more cocktails. And it was quite funny. Her regular cocktail bar, the waitress there, who sees her every time she goes, but we asked for some just ordinary cocktails that Kimberly has had, loads of times, like an old fashioned, which is her favourite, and I asked for I think a martini, and it confused the cocktail waitress. She wasn't quite sure what the ingredients were. She had to look them up, and not quite sure how to make them. So it was, a bit okay. But anyway, I took pictures of the cocktails. We had a couple there. And then moved on to another cocktail bar. So basically, it's just pictures of us drinking cocktails, which I thought perhaps no, that's enough of that. So the next day, we went to Leeds to a rather nice Italian restaurant, Riva Blue, it was called, and you can see it. It's sort of blue with blue leather seats, very nice, and. Travelled there by train on across the Pennines. If you know the Pennines, it's a sort of like a very picturesque natural feature of northern England, with a railway going through it, with lots of hills and trees and stuff. First, we had to get out of sort of Manchester, which was a bit dreary, but then we got into the Pennines. Unfortunately for Kimberly, some girls. We had reserved seats. I sat next to a rather quiet middle-aged lady, but Kimberly got stuck with on a seat with 3 other girls, and there were 4 other girls opposite her, and they were all in fancy dress, and talked non-stop for the entire hour, loudly, and the entire carriage could hear them. And then we got off in Leeds, luckily, and we thought, that's we'll avoid them. But there were more of them like that, dressed just like that, on the station, and in the streets. There were like women in the streets going to hen parties, and men going to stag parties, and it was bloody awful. But anyway, we thought we'll avoid all that. We went to this restaurant. It was very nice. There was a sort of the wait staff were all like smartly dressed. And Kimberly and I approached, and this gentleman came out to greet us and took us inside, and I barely announced myself. I said, I've got a reservation. He said, yes, Mr. Wills. He said, oh, right, okay. Jolly good. And he sat us down, and we had this, which is arancini, apparently. That's what it's called. And it's very nice. It's got truffles and melted mozzarella inside. So I can highly recommend that. It was posh. It was very posh, like waiters in suits and that sort of thing. And I then had some, it's Italian, so I had a sort of flat pasta thing. Kimberly had a linguine with clams, which looked like rather nice. And we had, I don't know whether you noticed in that, but of course there were cocktails There we go. There's the cocktails. Kimberly's was purple and mine was blue. We got them for the colours. You know, very sophisticated. Kimberly got that one that has hibiscus in it, and I got mine, which was Bombay Blue Gin. Very nice, and very Instagrammable. But yes, I think we had that as the main, but Kimberly had spotted one of the reasons she wanted to go to. She's been to Leeds before, but one of the reasons she wanted to go was an ice cream parlour. So we held off on the dessert because we were going to go to this proper Italian ice cream parlour somewhere. So that's us there in the restaurant. Yeah, there we go. And then we went into the depths of Leeds, which, you know, if you didn't look at all the sort of badly dressed people wandering about, was rather nice. They have galleries, sort of 19th century. It was very, like, thriving industrial town, northern industrial town in the day, back in the 19th century, and with lots of cash floating about. So they threw it at the architecture, and there were lots of rather nice buildings thrown up. And this was under that cupola on the floor. I'm just trying to find the next photograph. Ah. Yes, and of course we had to have a selfie in the gallery. And then it was off to find some art. The next thing was the Leeds City Art Gallery, which looked, externally, looked not unlike Manchester City Art Gallery and Liverpool City Art Gallery, big northern town with lots of money, and they made like Greco-Roman art galleries and museums. And I thought, oh great, you know, it'll be like that. It'll be sort of lots of galleries and rooms inside. And I was sorely disappointed. 2 rooms in this entire art gallery. One with old art and one with modern art. And then there was a tea room and a shop. And like art spaces or something like that. So it was a bit disappointing. And you can see that is the only one room with like 19th century art in it. But to be fair, I mean, when they threw their money at their buildings, they did in a big way. That's the town hall. It is rather posh. I mean, yes. I mean, like I said, if you ignore the sort of people in shorts and t-shirts and, you know, overweight and not particularly pleasant looking, then yes, it looks quite posh. This was a school, I think, at one time in the centre of the city. Lots of that very typical kind of yellowy Yorkshire sandstone. And when they had, it's all available, so they used it. And then this is the civic hall. So like, you know, let's throw Renaissance and Roman architecture all together, and it looks rather good actually. There was a sort of big, huge open space in front of this. And to the right of it was this building, which is the City Museum, which apparently is famous for some like a mummy and some dinosaurs and some dinosaur poop. But we didn't go in there. I mean, I just took a picture of the outside. And then Kimberley, having been to Leeds before, said, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Do you want to see this? Do you want to see that? And have a look at the Corn Exchange. And the Corn Exchange is rather nice. Like an entirely functional building in the 19th century for commercial purposes. The name gives it away, the Corn Exchange. And so they built a rather splendid-looking rotunda building. And inside it's rather nice too. Now it's all kind of trendy shops inside. But it's got a really spectacular ceiling. We didn't really look at the trendy shops. And one of the reasons that, having been to Leeds loads of times before, or several times before, and wanting to go again for Kimberley, was to see this cathedral on the right here. Which looks very cathedral-y and very Gothic-y, but was only built in 1904, I discovered. And inside it sort of looks all the same, sort of tall and Gothic-y. It was very quiet in there, obviously. Like, I think we were the only two people in there, apart from a cleaner or something. And then we jumped to evening meal, which was, we went to a Japanese restaurant. And again, we held off on the dessert. Well, no, we didn't. I think did we have dessert here? I don't remember. Because we tried to go to the Italian ice cream place, which was in some shopping area. But we got there a bit late and there was a huge queue. And we were stood in the queue for about 5 minutes and then gave up. And went early to the Japanese restaurant and had cocktails, of course, again. Oh, yes, and before that we'd had cocktails again. At couple of the places that I'd picked out. Rather nice, sort of cosy, old-style bar with leather-buttoned seats and wooden floorboards and things. I didn't get any pictures there, unfortunately. So anyway, it was a very like Japanese restaurant, because we had you can see there next to Kimberley there's a tablet, and it was all you could eat, like sushi, sashimi and tempura and all the usual stuff. So we just ordered loads of that, and of course you can see that there's a bottle of sake there. And then, yes, we suddenly jumped to Wales. I'll be interrupting Wales shortly to show you the prisoner video, but I appear to have cut my head off. But this is Wales. Would you believe? I mean, Wales is. If you think of Wales, you think of grey, rainy, hilly, but it was beautifully sunny and warm. And we arrived. This is a place called Colwyn Bay, which looks out onto the Irish Sea, and it was unseasonably and uncharacteristically continental looking, almost. And as I was saying earlier, the sun shone down upon me, and fortune shone down upon me as well, because I hadn't really assessed parking for the restaurant we were going to go to, which was not far from where this photograph was taken. And it was basically town parking, which would have been pay and display. And we got there, and of course it was lunchtime, and the whole parking was completely full. I drove round for 1 or 2 minutes. Unfortunately, this is a place beloved of jet ski people, and somebody was just hitching up their jet ski and removing their vehicle. And she said, I'm just going to hitch up my jet ski. You can have this space. I thought, brilliant. Okay. So I got parked. That was good. Obligatory selfie. There were seagulls everywhere. Kimberley was a bit worried because they were flying over. She didn't want to get pooped on. There we see. Just to make sure you know where you are, they put a big sign, Colwyn. And of course, obligatory food photographs. I had a pretend cocktail this time because I was driving that day. So mine is an espresso martino. In other words, it's basically chocolate milk. I had a chocolate milk drink, but Kimberly had a proper martini or some kind of cocktail. And the obligatory food, I had lamb this time, and because it was like a famous bistro for seafood, I think Kimberly had crab. And then shortly after that, it was a drive to something that looked a bit more like Wales. And we came to a lake called Llyn Crafnant. And as you can see, blue sky, sunshine, just the lightest of breezes. So you can just about see there's a guy, that it's not very deep because there's a guy stood there fishing in the water. So, but it's actually a reservoir. But the road to it was a bit horrendous. On the map, it looked quite innocent, the road, but it was like a steep drop on one side. It was wooded, very narrow, hardly any passing places. So I crawled along it at about 10 miles an hour. But we got there, and it was worth it. We took a couple of hours to walk around, enjoying the scenery. Shirley Temple, what were called Shirley Temples. So you can just see it goes a bit away from the reservoir and looks back down this valley. This is an area called Snowdonia. It's not the highest area of snow. The highest mountains in Wales are in Snowdonia, but these are kind of like the foothills. Hi, Vids. And then, right, I'll put this on pause, because now it's time for you to see the prisoner, for some context. So this is where I have to pause the the music, so you can add to stage and completely, and go here and press play. This is for some context. We went to this village. The village they used in this television series from the 60s, which was very cult-like and popular and esoteric and weird.
I suppose you're wondering what you're doing here.
It had crossed my mind.
It's a question of your resignation.
We want information.
Information.
You won't get it. By hook or by crook, we will.
You are number 6.
I am not a number. I am a free man.
Well, there you go. So that was The Prisoner, filmed in 1967 in this village that had been created by somebody called Clough Williams Ellis or something like that, an architect who was in love with like Italian and Portuguese and Mediterranean architecture, and was obviously not short of a bob or two, and wanted to build his ideal like Mediterranean village in Wales. It looked at various places, and it discovered he had an uncle who owned a castle near this place. And the uncle was up for selling the castle. So that's how it started. He bought this castle and then started building this village along these cliffs. And the result was the village, which is actually occupied. People live there and have to endure countless tourists who pay 20 quid a head to get in. So, but it was, again, uncharacteristically sunny, as you can see. And there's a sort of like the sea. That bit where you saw the character running across the beach, that was all covered in sea when we were there. The tide was in. But it's all quite bizarre, but very, very attractive. And as you can see, we'd carefully had the people removed. There was nobody there. So we were happily taking photographs all over the place. There's more. I've just taken a selection of the photographs, so as not to be over the top. And of course, the obligatory selfie. And then we went to this hotel here and into that sort of bay window area, that blue. And it was a 4-star hotel, and it was quite expensive, but it was worth it. That doesn't look all that impressive, really, but it tasted nice. And yes, I won't go through all the stuff that we had, but it was all very delicious. And we didn't have dessert. Dessert would have cost us even more. So we didn't have dessert. And I got the waiter to take a picture. And there you go. That was me in Wales. Me and Kimberly in Wales. And then the next day I left and I went back to my parents because it was my father's 87th birthday. So it was quite important to go and visit. And I was in the area, as it were. Yeah, it's getting a bit bright. Sun's coming out, amazingly. Whoa. So that was why I mean, and there wasn't internet near the lake. I did, when we got to the car park at the lake, I said, I wonder whether I should do a live stream from here. And then we just looked at our phones and there wasn't even a signal for the phone, let alone internet. Nope. Okay. And then when we got to the village, by the time I'd sort of sorted things out and we'd got into the village, again, there was not much in the way of internet. And I just thought, bugger it. So, yes, really, I was having such a good time that I didn't bother doing a live stream. They are all prisoners. Yes, yeah. We all saw them leave. The car park was full, or was emptying as we arrived. It's very, very, yes, very posh table setting. We were sat waiting in the reception area to be shown to our table, and they came with amusements, as they're called here in Belgium, kind of like little treats, and Kimberly had a cocktail, but I was driving, so I had to have ginger ale, and then we had water with the bit. So it was that was very good. But it was a nice drive back as well. I mean, the sun was starting to go down, and the Welsh hills were sort of bathed in a sort of a golden light, and the traffic was almost non-existent because it was like 8 o'clock at night, but still summertime. So yeah, so I can recommend, if you're ever in the UK and you're wondering where to go, I'm going to go to Wales. I can't guarantee that the weather is going to be like the weather I had, but it's worth a visit, definitely. By a whale. No, we would have had to have gone into the sea, which, when as you saw in the pictures of Colwyn, there were people in the sea, and there were people on the beach in like beach attire. But I was like, I was not exactly dressed for going on the beach, neither was Kimberly, and neither of us particularly likes sort of doing that sort of thing. So we were quite safe from Wales. Yes. So, I mean, now I have to wait until summer, until I can go back to England. So I've got to endure another 2 months of Belgium. All right, not a whale. All right, citizen of Wales. Oh, they appear to be quite harmless. Can't understand a word they say, though. I mean, I was waiting at the ticket office to explain to the ticket chap at the village there that I'd got late, missed my tickets, but I was booked. I did have tickets, and I showed him my booking number. While I was waiting, 2 members of staff sort of came down towards the booking office, and I couldn't understand. They were talking in Welsh, and it was okay, right. It's like grape juice. Okay. What was that you sent earlier on chat, Vince? Oops. And then you started typing and stopped typing, and it was all very like odd. Not quite sure what was going on there. I thought possibly he's been on the bottle. I have to adjust my properties. The sun keeps going in and out. There we are. Oh yes, that Japanese thing. Can I still find it? Let's have a look. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. But go here and go to exit full screen. Go to history. History. I can maybe show that Japanese thing. It looked quite interesting. Yes, Japanese society. There we go. No, shut up. Okay, let's do this for the last part. Oh, it's adverts. Bloody adverts. Sorry, excuse me. I'm just trying to set this going. Skip. Okay. The Japanese. Okay, there we go. StreamYard. Present. Share screen. Japanese society. Share. Okay. Right. Do it like that. There we are. Okay. And play. So I guess let's get the music back. There we go. So this is Japan in 1968, which is also the year that The Prisoner was filmed, so it's quite appropriate. And the year that quite a few of us were born, or around that period. Yes, major oops. Did you correct it? Yes, hopefully it corrected it. I've been getting phishing calls from people pretending to be PayPal. I haven't used PayPal for at least 2 or 3 years, and I got a call, and it was an automated voice saying, you have spent 600 something. Press 1 to do this, and no, bugger off. Quick Google told me that it's a phishing scam. So Yes, it's everyday Japanese. You know, it's what you meet when you meet your Japanese father-in-law. He'll do this. This was back in the 60s, of course. It doesn't do that now. Yes, I mean, I suppose it's a good mental exercise. Beats yoga. Yes, that's the trouble with online stuff, especially on a phone. There's one accidental slip of the finger, and you're buggered. Yes, yes, exactly. It's all right, internet, isn't it? I booked all my sort of restaurants and things in England and Wales through the internet. But even then, it was like quite clunky. And my train tickets, and I buggered up my train ticket. One train ticket. I thought, yes, that's the train ticket I want. That's the date I want. But my cursor was still on the day before, and when I clicked, it said, "Oh, you've booked tickets to Leeds on Friday the 17th." Wait a minute, no, we're going to Leeds on Saturday. So I had to go the whole rigmarole of getting a refund and starting all over again. I remember you telling me, yes, Bob. Yeah. Grooving in your kimono. Yes, it's a typical Japanese nightclub. Yep. It was exactly like that when I was there. Yes. I hope the air conditioning is good in there. That's all I can say. I have to say, they were slightly more colourful. I was watching when you watch Adalabati's walking videos, and you look at the Japanese populace. It's overwhelmingly Uniqlo beige, cream, black, grey. Back in the 60s, they dared to wear a bit of colour back in the 60s. I don't know, he's probably saying something interesting in American. Possibly not. You never know. I've got to go, Peppo. Bye. Yes, I'm going to try and not drink too much more of this. Oh, is this? Oh, no, oh, it's an advert. Sorry, you have to endure an advert. Hang on. Skip. There we are. Yes. When you go to Japan, you'll notice lots of different things. Thunderbirds are go. In Japan. Alternate dub. It's the alternate dub of the 1968 Japanese. Come come on. Come on. Oh, God. This is what happens when you don't watch the video beforehand. Talk. Hang on. There we go. There we are. That's better. Tea ceremony. Been there, done that. Cost me 500 yen. Well, she's got long arms. Can open all those doors. What you should do, Bob, is get John to sort of sub you to go to Tokyo, and can you walk around Tokyo together, telling your experiences. That'd be. Yes, it's you only live twice. Bunraku. Last one. Okay. You never expected to see a Bunraku performance on Simon NoChaNoma, did you? It's violent, very violent. That's the way to do it. Punch and Judy. Wow, he's really getting into the role. Oh, God. Stop him. And now I've seen this puppet show. I mean, Japanese literature, you know, I can understand why Japanese literature is the way it is. Okay, random. Taylor's dummies. Creepy Taylor's dummies from the 60s. I played golf once. Just once. Well, the time has almost come, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tolerating this episode of Fukki, and I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I have half a bottle of wine. Should have. But next week on the show, it's a mystery. It could be any number of things. It could be out and about. It could be back here again, or you never know. I might even get a guest. An extremely rare occurrence these days, but we shall see. But for now, I need to go and tidy all this away and put it back upstairs, and possibly go out and get a coffee and some chocolates or something, as is my usual Saturday habit. But for now, I shall just pop back to this. There we go. And thank you all for joining. It was a fucking great show. And see you all again next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. Bye-bye.